Hi, first graders, and welcome to our Read Aloud today. It is nice to see you all. I chose a story that is pretty funny, pretty silly, but also has a nice message, I think, about being a good friend and being compassionate, right? So showing love for, showing care for other people, but it's silly along the way. And I think a certain classmate might like this story in particular. This book is called Ben Rides On. And this is a story by Matt Davies. And it looks like he's both the author and the illustrator. Now that he had the bicycle of his dreams, Ben Lucan loved going to school. These drawings are kind of crazy, aren't they? These illustrations. I'm wondering if maybe this artist did it with pen and then watercolored over it. That might be an art project for you guys to try out. With his gleaming new machine, he could take the long way, or perhaps the very long way. I'm sure, Ben, that you have never taken the very long way home from somewhere, just taken a little bit more playtime. And maybe even the very, very long way. Love this one. Jumping over the school buses. Can you guys see that? Okay, sorry, it's a little. It was arriving at school that Ben hated. Sadly, Adrian Underbite, perhaps the world's largest third grader, didn't seem to like Ben very much. But Adrian did nice things. Adrian. There he is doing all sorts of nice things, right? Like pushing kids and looks like maybe taking things from other people, pulling people by their shirt. What a guy. After watching Adrian ride off on his prized possession, Ben was devastated and late for class. So if you couldn't see it here, this is Adrian taking Ben's bike on this page. As his teacher explained that the earth revolved around the sun, we made a connection. We learned that. Ben's thoughts revolved around his bike and seeking revenge against Adrian. That's a cool use of that word revolved, right? So the earth revolves around the sun, but Ben's thoughts are like circling around. They're just going around and around and around about how he can get his bike back and get revenge. There he is, late for class. And with his thoughts circling. I like that thundercloud over his head. What a neat way to show sort of sadness as an illustrator. Reminds me of like a thought bubble, but different. When the school bell finally rang, Ben began his journey home on foot. He hadn't gone very far when he heard a peculiar sound. Peculiar is like interesting or surprising, which caused him to launch an immediate investigation. And what's that noise he hears? Ah! He's off at a run. I like this little black bird that seems to be keeping him company. Whereupon, he quickly discovered his stolen bike. Oh, mangled up in that tree. And he also discovered Adrian. Where do you guys think Adrian is? Can you tell? That he's down off the cliff. He's down here. Looks like riding that bike, karma maybe didn't go so well for him. So he found Adrian, who appeared to be in a significant spot of trouble. How extraordinarily terrible, Ben thought to himself. I think he's taking a little bit of happiness in Adrian's misfortune. He sees him dangling there. Do we think Ben feels really badly right now? I think that big old smile tells me he's sort of like, oh, how too bad that that happened to you. Now I guess I'm wondering, when I think about stories and I think about main characters, right? The main character in a story, oftentimes I don't read books where the main character is like a real mean person or a bully, or maybe like I've read stories where characters make mistakes or do the wrong thing, but then they like correct it, right? So like they do the wrong thing, right? Like they are mean, but then they apologize. They take something, but they give it back. That I'm sort of wondering, I don't think that he's going to let him stay there because then our main character in our story would be kind of like neglecting, right? He wouldn't be helping somebody when they needed help. Um, we want to be the people who help someone that needs help. So even though he's thinking, how extraordinarily terrible. And just when Adrian thought, and just when Adrian thought he could not hold on any longer, a very familiar green and white hoodie appeared. Adrian reached up and grabbed on for dear life. He was a nice guy. I'm just wondering if you can pull him up. Hauling the biggest galoot proved a challenge. But Ben pulled Adrian to safety with some help from a friend. That bird is exhausted. He's kind of a funny character, right? He's not talking, but he's definitely there. Exhausted, Adrian slowly rose to size his 10 feet and appeared to be momentarily puzzled. Then suddenly, without warning, he lunged like an airborne walrus towards his rescuer. Oh. I think Ben might get smushed here. While Ben braced for the horrible impact, Adrian made off with the damaged bike. Ben couldn't believe it. What? He helped him and then he stole the bike again? What? What are you guys thinking right now? This is so crazy, right? He helped him and then he stole his bike. I don't like the look of this. Worn out and feeling a bit sick, he turned and headed for home. Ben didn't get much sleep that night. The following morning, he still only had one thing on his mind. I can connect with that. I feel like if I've had like a problem go wrong, it's like hard to get it off your brain, even though time has passed. So he only had one thing on his mind. The very thing that someone had carefully leaned against his front gate. Can you see who it is who left it? Maybe our bully wasn't such a bully after all. Maybe he's got a heart too. And it had been repaired almost perfectly. And that is the story Ben rides on. I hope you guys enjoyed that today. I know it's not totally bike riding weather today, but it did make me think about just compassion and kindness and being kind to other people, even if maybe they aren't that kind to you. I know these days can get long, maybe if you've got siblings at home or even just time with parents. And so sometimes thinking about how can we be a little bit kinder and show some care for others, even if maybe they've been mean to us in the past. So think about that today as you are playing, as you are having fun, and certainly if you want to get back outside for recess and bike riding and all sorts of other fun activities. All right. I will see you all soon, and I hope you're having a great day. Bye.